Kingdom One fam, hey, welcome back to another podcast. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and here at the Kingdom One podcast, we help ministry leaders become courageous, healthy, and effective in leading their teams and leading their organizations because we understand ministry is complex and you have a lot to deal with, from multiple personalities to hierarchies to budgets that might not fit what your dreams, your missions, and aspirations are. But luckily here at the Kingdom One podcast, we are going to keep you up to date, keep you encouraged, and make sure you have the tools, knowledge, and resources that you need as a ministry leader to progress your ministry forward. Today, we're having a conversation with Will McGinnis. Will McGinnis is the former bassist of Audio Adrenaline and founder of the Hands and Feet Project in Haiti. And we're going to kick off the conversation by asking him, how did he get started building such an amazing organization?
Oh man, Nick, thank you so much for the awesome question and for having me on today. Kingdom One podcast, love it. So thrilled to be here. Yeah, Nashville at the Sing conference. You were so gracious to come over and run into the Haiti Made booth where we were promoting Haiti Made and Hands and Feet Project. And thank you for doing this. But yeah, it goes back a few years. We were in a Christian rock band called Audio Adrenaline. And I was the bass player. About probably 10 years into our career, we were just asking some different kinds of questions. We were trying to figure out after we'd lapped the world, won a few awards and all of those things, burned up the road a lot. Is there more that we could do with our platform? And when you're leaving your families at home and all of that, it just needed to be worth it, right? And swinging our hair around and just making the music had kind of, run its course a little bit. But so we were playing this song called Hands and Feet. It was on our record at the time. And every night Mark would challenge, that's our lead singer, he would challenge the people in the crowd to be Christ's hands and feet to the people around them. That living out the gospel was not optional. It was a call. It was a way of life, and it wasn't just on Sunday, but it was wherever we go, we carry the gospel with us, and then sometimes use words. So it's our actions. It's how we carry the gospel. And so he would challenge people. In one show, a family, the Austin family, husband and wife and 3 kids, beautiful family, up and just left their day job in the U.S. and said, yeah, right, we should be doing more. We're going to become missionaries to Peru. So this is just the kind of influence, I guess, we realized that we had on people. And we were like, man, that's amazing. And so we never took our platform lightly. We knew that the way we carried ourselves, what we talked about, often was the difference in how the crowd would react and respond. So that night, when the Austin family responded in such a dramatic way, it just made us go, geez, we need to be doing more with our platform. And so those two things together, why are we leaving our families? Why are we still doing this? What's the driving force? We really want to use our platform for something bigger than our music and traveling. And that's when we were like, we got to create something. And Mark's mom and dad, our lead singer again, his mom and dad, Drex and Joe, were missionaries to Haiti on and off. And so Haiti was on our radar. We heard the stories of the beautiful people, the landscapes, the Caribbean landscapes, the tough climate that they live in. They're in a corridor of a lot of natural disasters, earthquakes and hurricanes, and then just their political, things they face often. But we went down there and we're like, we really think we can make a difference here. At that time, it was around the area of abandoned and orphaned children. And so we went back, started telling that story from our stage, pulled the band's money, bought land in Haiti, started the Hands and Feet Project. And so really it was a group effort at first. It was Mark, me, Tyler, Ben, all in. Just like, this is what we stand for now. This is Audio Adrenaline. We're writing songs from a different heart, a different perspective. We're using our platform from a different place we're going to talk about Haiti and the Hands and Feet Project and the plight of the Haitian people. And so we began, in the namesake, that song, Hands and Feet, became Hands and Feet Project in 2004. And so 20 years this year, we've been in the fight. We've been in the fight to help with Haiti's orphan and abandoned crisis. And then we've been in the fight to come alongside families, because a lot of families have to make that tough decision. They're put in a place to make the tough decision. Can I feed my child, or do I need to give them up to a place to care for them? And so by coming alongside a family, we can keep that family intact. And on our campuses where we care for, almost 129 children now we've cared for on our campuses, we spend every day of that trying to reunite, trying to reconnect them to an extended family, biological family, or a foster care kind of model, to put them back in a situation where they are unique again, where they are in a family unit again, where they are cared for in the way that God designed the family to be. But our Hands and Feet Project Children's Villages are amazing, and they are there to be a last resort. And we don't celebrate getting placed kids from Haiti's government, but we are there to stand in the gap and to care for them in the best way possible. So again, trying to reunite them, though, as always, if we can.
Wow, that's fascinating what you're doing. And I'm assuming that the campuses is essentially what you're talking about, orphan care and family care. Can you maybe talk about some of the care components and the services that you're providing? Because I find this fascinating.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's an awesome question. And we've looked at the orphan and abandoned children's space quite differently. We named our campuses Children's Villages. We didn't like the term orphanage, or orphan or orphanage. We wanted to create and kind of replicate or resemble what the world had taken from these kids, and that was their biological family. That was a smaller family setting. So we create houses. In each house is place children around a matriarch nanny and cook staff and help staff. And it's a 24/7 care for the child. The families act and kind of move about and respond as families do. They go to market together. They do life together. They go to church on Sunday together. And then there's some larger gatherings for all of the families to come together to eat or to worship, or to do camps, or to do larger events that celebrate just all of the kids, and larger events where we have artists come and perform, and we celebrate the kids who exemplify our values and what we promote on our campus. And so really that's the layout of the campus. The campus is family style care. And also education is huge. We have probably, among all of these kids, we probably have up to 10 or 12 different schools that each of them go to, even down to homeschooling. So we try to look at the one child and tailor specifically to them their educational path, and then we have daily tutoring for the entire body of students, just an additional emphasis on education. We believe education is obviously massive in the future of Haiti and in the future of these kids and their success. So that's also a part of our campus. And then just making sure their nourishment, their fundamental physical needs are met, their spiritual needs. We have psychologists and social workers that help us with the parts of their trauma and the parts of their story, the parts of their being abandoned, being orphaned. So caring for them in all of those ways is how we care for these children on our campus. But again, we don't celebrate that. And we feel like when we can put them back into a smaller child setting, a foster model, or back to extended family, that's a massive win as well, and then come alongside them from that point.
You said something that really sparked some interest, is values, like highlighting the values that some of these children have. Can you maybe talk to us about what are those values that you do celebrate in your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they may sound basic, but they're integral in any person, child, growing up to be a successful person in our communities and in society, obedience, honesty, and things like that. So we curate these just on our campus, and then we celebrate the ones who exemplify them. And so, it's just kind of our core, goes along with our core values and kind of our core curriculum. It's the exchange between one another, how we do life together on our campuses, just trying to build healthy individuals, right, who function together on our campus well, and then when they transition out, they're able to go out into the community well equipped. And so we have individual life kind of plans, ILPs or whatever, for each child, and that's connected to a person who's in charge of that. When they transition, they get to stay with a person who's kind of a resident advisor, boys in a house, girls in a house, and they try to get their, like what would be their social security card, their passport, all their documents put together. They're kind of set them up on their life, jumpstart their life into how to be successful and how to do things, how to wash your clothes, how to, feed yourself, how to go to market, all those things. But it starts going back all the way to the younger age, maybe at 12 to 14 range in the home. So the homes are important in this. And so it starts on the campus and eventually ends up when they have to leave our campuses, they transition out, and then eventually they're on their own. So all of these things equipping them. And then the job creation piece is kind of the final step. It's like we've turned out these incredibly educated kids, these incredible students, and they need opportunity. And so sometimes Haiti doesn't have a lot of opportunity. In fact, a lot of the times the unemployment there is huge. It's in the 60 percentile. And so turning out amazing kids to no opportunity leads to hopelessness. So we try to swim upstream, and we try to create the opportunities on our campus, in the community, or with a job creation effort like Haiti Made, which is what you saw at the event in Nashville, the Sing Conference. Haiti Made was there. It's leather goods made in Haiti. It's crafts made in Haiti. It's artisan type gear that's made in Haiti, and we bring it back to America. And we have HaitiMade.com where people can go and purchase that stuff, or we pop up at like Sing conferences, and we sell it at local pop-up shops and stores and conferences wherever we can get invited. But so it's an all-inclusive kind of model, holistic, and it's so important to have all those pieces because Haiti in the current state is desperate. It's hard. It's working hard soil. It's tilling hard ground, and we're planting seeds and hopefully watering and nurturing and want to see a fruit and a harvest someday. And it's starting in these kids with them having a job and an opportunity. So.
And before the Hands and Feet Project, you talked about Audio Adrenaline, and maybe to shift gears a bit, because I think, like what you just described is a beautiful, beautiful model for a nonprofit to go and to make human flourishing at the heart of, alongside Jesus's message of, hope and forgiveness and grace and redemption. And I see you guys doing that so very well. But maybe to shift gears a bit is this idea of worship and contemporary Christian music, and you being in that space for so long. I would love to hear your perspective of what's changed over the years and what's been good and what needs attention from a spiritual standpoint in these spaces.
Oh man, that's a fantastic question, and there's a lot there. That's a whole podcast in itself, I believe, and a lot of different voices. We'll probably need to speak into it. For our time in our run in Christian music, Audio Adrenaline started in 1990. We actually started, 4 years prior in Bible college. We were just Midwest boys going to a small Bible college in Kentucky. And funny enough, my mom overheard a couple guys on the campus the very first weekend, orientation weekend. She heard these two guys that happened to be Mark, our lead singer, and his brother David talking about Christian rock band they were going to start, and our first guitar player, Barry Blair. And she went up to complete strangers and said, well, my son plays bass. You should check him out. And And so later, about a week later, they knock on my door and they're like, "Are you Will?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I thought they were the welcoming crew, to college. And I was like, and they were like, "Wow, your room's really cool." My room was all decked out with all my favorite music and stuff, my posters, my albums, and all that. And they were like, "Well, we're starting a Christian rock band, and your mom told us that you play bass." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Did she tell you I've only been playing bass like 3 months? I just gotten the bass for my graduation present, graduating high school." And they're like, "Oh, no, she didn't really say that, but you seem cool. Your room's cool. Bass is easy. We'll teach you bass." So that's how I got in the band. And literally for 4 years, we had our 10,000 hours playing for the school, going out, doing all the events, promoting the school, promoting our band, making music for the Lord. We were rock and roll. And so we looked different. We were Christians, obviously Christians. We broke open the Word from stage. We invited people into the gospel every night. We presented the gospel in music. We presented encouragement and exhortation, and that God in the Bible and Jesus represented in the Bible is the answer to all your issues that you face, and is a place that you can go for refuge, comfort, strength, and help. And we did that all through high school, and then we got signed and moved to Nashville in 1990. And then I feel like the youth group kind of music revolution began. It had started before that, but certainly our run from the 90s to about 2007 was a pinnacle. And all the music it was all genres. There was a West Coast kind of leading labels and bands kind of effort, and there was a lot of Nashville bands and labels effort. And there was a lot of organizations that connected us to youth groups that put out the Bible studies around our music, put out the essential tools, the posters, sent them to all the youth groups and all the churches all over. And then the festivals, were heavily populated, and then the tours were popular, and then this and that. So it birthed a revolution, and it birthed this idea that a kid out there, a youth group person, a young adult, could be vocal about their faith, could be bold, could wear the t-shirt that announces, "Hey, I'm a Christian and I'm proud of it. I listen to this music and it's just as rocking as anything in the world, but it's got this heart behind it. It's got this thing behind it." And so for me, that's what we were about. I mean, it wasn't about we're up on stage and the crowd is down there below us. It wasn't about we're any better than anyone. We didn't even feel qualified to be on that stage. We certainly weren't good enough. We certainly weren't like the most perfect people. We certainly weren't all the things that you would think, you had to have it all together, all the things. But we said yes, and we admittedly just said, "God, use us. Give us music that impacts a generation. Give us music that finds fringe kids that would never go to church end up knowing about the Lord." So this is our era. This is what we lived and breathed, and why we burn up the roads, why we lap the world, why we made all the records we made and did all the things, and as I mentioned, left our families. And then that led to something that, grew even bigger than Audio Adrenaline, and that is the Hands and Feet Project. That's really what's remained, and it's what Mark and I have dedicated most of our life after the band to, and our families. And so that's really, the Christian music and worship music that I know. It was all different kinds, from punk, ska, rap, rock, urban, you name it. All the genres were flourishing and were promoted and were pursued to give a pastor, a youth group tools and equip them to go out and face the world, face their schools, face their sphere of influence with tools to share the gospel loudly and boldly. And so today it's much different, Today it's much different. I think there's going to be a pendulum swing back into some of that, how far it'll go or how deep or how much it'll connect. But I think all the genres will start to jump back in, instead of just a a worship kind of thing that's exhorting Christians in the church. The outreach, the outreach piece. Obviously, worship is outreach too. It's edifying the church to go out and be filled and to carry God with them and to point people to things, concerts, all those things still take people before the throne, and that changes them, obviously. But this thought of having music and art as back in the historic, the historic days when the thought leaders and the poets and the creatives were coming out of the church, and they were building the big churches, they were painting the most awesome paintings, and they were creating the best art because they knew the creator of the universe. And so that is what needs to come out, I believe, again. And we need to be thought leaders, and as the Getty family was at the Sing conference, I think they're pioneers and they're leading the way, and so many others are taking us back to the arts and inviting people into a space to be creative because they know the creator. So
I love that so much. That is so good and such a timely word for our creatives who are listening. In the marketing communication space, I can't agree more that I love worship music. I believe everything that you said. It is encouraging, it is edifying, but somebody needs to step outside and create and go to the local venues and go to the larger festivals and just meet people where they're at, and music can absolutely do that. One of my final questions for you is just any advice that you have for nonprofit leaders or worship leaders who just feel stuck and struggling. I'm sure that you've seen some things with organization to worship and been in a position to where encouragement is something that's needed. What advice or encouragement would you give to the audience who's listening?
Oh man. I feel like as we work in Haiti and operate in Haiti, one of the toughest places in the world, and we've seen Haiti at some pretty high highs, and we've seen Haiti at some pretty low lows. As I said earlier, we're tilling tough soil, and we don't always see the fruit of our labor, and we dream of a day of a better Haiti, of a better government, of safety, of security, of basic needs being met, all those things, water, shelter, medical, where the simplest things don't take a lot of the people, where they have opportunity, where they have the ability to pull themselves out of their own circumstances. So we understand tough, we understand burnout, we understand throwing our arms up and being exhausted. We understand wanting to give up. And so really I can, what I can say is that God is faithful and his mercies endure forever, and his mercies are new every day. Every day we can wake up and we can take on another day. We can make the next, take the next step, make the next best decision, and we can know that he is with us and that he's got our back and that he loves us, that he is writing the narrative and the storyline, and we get the absolute honor and pleasure of being written in and grafted into that story and being used. And so I don't know, I hang in there, keep going. There's so many times when we get just, I'm a runner, and often runners will give up in the late miles, almost ready to cross the finish line. Or there's so many stories of how people almost broke through, but they fell just a little short. They just hung in there a little bit longer, they would have got to break through. So yeah, it's all of the things that we take on in our own strength, in our own effort, will be depleted and will fall short. But Jesus says, let me walk with you. Let me carry your burden. Lay your burden on me. Let me journey with you. Let me walk together with you. And God's offers, kind of all the things that we need to sustain us and to be the heavy lifting, be the real workhorse in the situation. So it's a lot of that. And we ask for supernatural creativity. We ask for supernatural problem solving, for ideas that will be supernaturally effective in a place like Haiti, where we come not even understanding always the cultural things, the cultural norms, the positions that they're put in because of the state of Haiti. And we'll never understand that because of our lot was to be born in a country like America. So these are the most beautiful, hardworking, just incredible people on the planet, and they have a tough go. And so when you think about tough, you can often look outside of yourself and look at what others are going through and what they face. And so that also is a way to reframe what hard is to you, right? So that would be my encouragement, is that God's got you. Hang in there and look outside of yourself and understand that other people have it a lot worse in many cases. And people, if they want to know more, they can certainly go to handsandfeetproject.org, learn about our programs where we care for kids on our campus, residential care, where we come alongside families and Stronger Together, and we support them to stay together. And then we have daycares that we allow families to drop their children off at a Montessori. Amazing education, capturing kids from 0 to 4. Can't imagine what capturing them with a meal, the gospel, being stimulated, having the manipulatives with all the educational pieces is going to do for Haiti. So that's a huge thing for us, is creating daycares all over Haiti. And then, of course, Haiti Made, HaitiMade.com, to see all the artisan goods, leather, handicraft that's made, and all the artisan effort that's going on in Haiti to create jobs, create opportunities for people to be their own solution, to pull themselves out of their situations with an amazing job, fair living wage, go home and take care of their family on their own. Much more dignified. These guys would need a handout otherwise if they didn't have this job opportunity. And our transition students out of Hands and Feet Project also needs this jump start to their life in Haiti Made. So check out Haiti Made. Support all you can. We got fourth quarter gift giving season coming up, Christmas. We got great prices. It's priced to move, so we keep our team working. That's where they win. They go to work, they make the money, they go home, and feed their family. So thank you so much, Kingdom One. You guys are beautiful people. I appreciate you guys.
Kingdom One fam, I had such a great time with Will, and I just want to let you know that you can go to handsandfeetproject.org/shop, and you can choose from really great quality items. I know this holiday season, when this podcast is coming out, that if you want to grab a trucker hat, or if you want to grab a travel mug, a ceramic tumbler, they have some really cool stuff on there. So go ahead and check out the shop. That is one way that you can help support the Hands and Feet Project, handsandfeetproject.org/shop. And if you're a ministry leader and you're feeling the tension of having to lead and don't know what the next move is, I want to let you know you are not alone. Kingdom One is here to help out. If you have any questions when it comes to finance, HR, marketing, communications, or any ministry strategy, you can go to kingdom1.co/get-started. Today, have a conversation with any Kingdom One ministry partner, and we are here to make sure that we can give you an answer and we can set a path forward that is clear, that is concise, and that is going to be effective in helping you become courageous, healthy, and effective while leading your ministry. Again, that's kingdom1.co/get-started today. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast, and until we chat again, let's grow the church together.